Ladies and gentlemen, can I welcome Greg to the
You
floor?
don't know me already. Okay, so Dave's asked me to do a learning breakfast. Decided to do it on using video in lessons, so there might be some stuff on here that you already do, might be some ideas that you don't do, so I'm just going to go through a few things. So mainly I've started using it for tutorials, so I record the screen most of the time, talking about how to do certain techniques for games, and you could use this also for demonstrations. I know Dave uses them a lot for setting up equipment and different types of uses in that sense. You could record it for topic knowledge as well, so I'm thinking sort of business side of things, you might record stuff and then put it online so it's easily accessible for your students outside of class. It can be used also for feedback, so next year we're looking to use it to record feedback, point out areas of work where students have maybe gone wrong but you want to tell them how to improve. You can identify it on the video that's recording the screen. Learner discussions as well, so the learners can record themselves with any issues and send that to you, maybe put that on their online work. We use it for feeding back to us in any problems they've had. And finally, flip learning as well, so you can get the learners to go ahead and watch the video on the information and then come back and discuss that as a class maybe in some form. Some advantage of it is that it's got faster feedback, so it's faster to record yourself and give that feedback and listen back to the students as well in that sense, rather than having that conversation or even worse, reading that written out. It's got reusable materials, so if you record a tutorial, that's going to be able to be used every year with whatever students you have. It's interactive, a bit more engaging, I guess. Easy instruction to flip learning again, like I said, and it's easily accessible for the students outside of class, so even if they don't have a laptop or anything like that, they can access YouTube and things like that on their phone, so they can access it any time. Some disadvantages, especially from our side of things, is there is a bit of a learning curve to the softwares. It's not massive, but you will need to learn maybe a new software or a new technique or how to put things on YouTube. Also, there is often a pushback from students to record themselves. Another thing with that is I often have my tutorials where the students don't bring in headphones, so I hear my own voice at the other side of the classroom, which can be quite annoying to yourself, but it's something you do get used to. So some of the softwares we use OBS Studio to record the screen, so it's a free software, you download it, and once you get it set up, it's literally just you press start to record, and then you press stop recording, it saves it to a file area, and then you've got your video there. We use some editing software, so DaVinci Resolve is free, quite simple, and if you've got access to the Adobe Suite, there's Premiere Pro and After Effects which you could use for that. Finally, publishing your videos, so where to put them to be accessible. YouTube is what I use, however I know there's Vimeo as well some people use. And you can also publish it on any of the sort of Google areas. I know Renzo uses a website to put all his on. And finally I've just got an example of a student recording their work, so an example of what they've been doing, so they can put that on their website or whatever they put their work on. So yeah, is there any questions? I don't want to use up too much time, I know we're quite short on time.
So sorry, is that the student recorded that to show the example of the process of editing?
Yeah, so in a minute the shapes disconnect, so it's just showing a process of how the technique.
When they're doing photography editing or film,
yeah.
Just recording that editing process instead of doing screenshots?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously with OBS you just record the screen. Yeah. You don't have to speak most of the time, you don't have to do any of that.
Is there a way in OBS to, rather than shoot video in a linear sort of method, but to take a shot, so you see, you don't get the whole process, you just get.
I mean,
you can pause it and then carry on with two buttons.
So start, you know, like.
You pause and then carry on.
Yeah,
you don't have to stop it. You can pause it.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
With this as well, you said about the sound, the voices and that.
Yeah.
This is a good tool in terms of looking at their progress and everything, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
looking at the end product with your assessment. And if you've got things to submit do complementary paperwork like an observation and everything with all the document and all the assessment criteria broken down, and that could evidence, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Would that speed up the process as well?
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, I mean, any sort of feedback in that sense, like when we give feedback, we're looking next year to move to this process where we're going to record the screen with their work. So obviously, ourselves and yourself, Trinity, you also use the sketchbook style.
Yeah.
We can point out on the video going through the sketchbook where to improve or what we're talking about, identify those issues on that video.
I know with the design and everything, but it could be, for example, practical skills, health and safety competence, because you've got health and safety within the criteria that they've got to hit on, And then with those packages, do you find, I mean, people, I'm assuming obviously know with YouTube experience that, but have they had experience of the others, or is it brand new to them when they come in?
I'd say it's brand new to our students. I know OBS and DaVinci is something we're going to over the last few months, so they're quite new, but especially OBS is so simple to use, they pick it up so quickly, and YouTube it takes a couple of steps, it's all straightforward, just to put your videos up. Yeah, I mean, obviously students that maybe coming not from the media side, the game side, that don't obviously use tech as much, maybe they might need a bit more of that learning curve, but I think it's quite intuitive.
Yeah, I think this is transferable to all the different areas,
Yeah.
And you may say, why don't we just send them to another tutorial? So someone else did. The reason is students do not connect with someone else's voice, they connect with you. So they're used to your voice, they're used to your ums and ums and how you speak. So if you were to send it to someone else, they're going to watch the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes and then give up.
Yeah, I think ultimately as well, if they know you've recorded it and you know your video, you know what you've done, when they come to ask you questions, you know how to answer them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're watching someone else's tutorial, they might do it in a completely different way that you understand. So then it's going to be hard for you to answer those questions that they have. So I think in that sense it works really well. I mean, I've had a few issues. I had one student come to me the other day, and apparently one of my videos had cut out at the start. You have to re-record that. There are some small issues, but your students will pick up on that from watching the videos.
At least you know they're watching it. So.
Yeah.